not looking very good. Let's see if this Capri will start and get it inside before the tornadoes come. If I hadn't put the camera in my way. That stinks. Oh, we gave the starter a workout, but we got it inside before the monsoon hit. We got it in just in time. Gave the starter a little bit of a workout. I'm pretty sure it's out of fuel. I'm gonna go pick up 5 gallons of fresh fuel, see if it'll start running and idle. It probably will. I haven't touched this car in 3 months because we've been insanely busy in the shop, which is a good problem to have. We are actually looking to add 1 or maybe 2 technicians to our crew because we are short-handed. Derek has moved on to another line of work. We're sad to see him go, but we wish him the best of luck. But with that, we are looking for another mechanic, so give us a call. We need a couple mechanics. At any rate, I'm gonna get back on this Capri. I have a carburetor upgrade for it and some brakes and a couple other things. I'm probably gonna pull the bumpers off of it too because they're hideously ugly, but we'll see how far we get today. I have a few hours to work on this today. Obviously the rain came, so I'm not gonna be mowing lawns. It is what it is. Let's get to work. Everything's nice and oily up there. I think our oil spray bar is just fine. So I have some stuff for the brakes to make it whoa, and I have a carburetor to make it go. This carburetor actually works fine, but I decided to update it to a Weber. It's a pretty common conversion on these. It takes you to an electric choke, which is a little easier for starting. This one has a water actuated heated choke, and it's going to clean up the engine bay quite a bit, so all this stuff here will be gone, and hopefully it'll run pretty good. It already runs pretty good, but we're going to make it run better. So step 1, I guess, would be remove old carburetor. Don't use those anymore. So I got this guy from Norm over at Team Blitz. He's got these in stock. It is a pretty cool setup. It's a progressive 2-barrel, electric choke. It is a bolt-in swap. And then you probably need to get I'll probably need to get a ball pivot and a base gasket. Pretty straightforward. Let's pop this thing off there. Have to drain the coolant. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and do that. Looks like I need a blade screwdriver and a 1/2-inch wrench. So your carburetor base bolts, nuts, are 13 millimeter. I keep forgetting that this is a European built car, so everything is metric, even though it's from the 70s. Because in my brain, everything from the 70s is standard. But even though this is a Ford, it was built in Germany. I really think this little 4-cylinder is going to be fun to rip around in. If nothing else, it will certainly give some people some confused looks. What the heck is that? Not a Pinto? No, that is not a Pinto. You guys really glued on there. I guess I would be too after 50 years. Let's pull off our fuel lines. Well, that controls fuel vapor. Our new carburetor doesn't have this vent, it just vents into the air cleaner. So we're gonna eliminate that guy and just put a plug in the intake there. The engine coolant would normally go through here, through the choke module, and then through the intake. So I'm just going to eliminate this hose and hook the hose from my heater hose right into the intake and just eliminate all these parts of the heated choke. Should be pretty simple. That guy from there to there. So I had some time with arts and crafts. Cleaned off my phenolic spacer, or my heat separator, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, new gasket, spacer, new gasket. Carburetor. Looks like my vacuum for my distributor goes right there. Perfect. I found a ball stud off of a Holley carburetor kit, which will work just fine. That lets me hook my throttle right back up. Looks like it opens it all the way, so let's lock her down. And Then I will have to find a plug for my intake. And I'll have to run over and get some fuel. I do have a fuel tank bung to install. I've already drilled the hole. Since the spare tire well is completely rusted out on this car, I decided that I think I'm going to make a new floor for the trunk that will hold a fuel cell. That way, if we decide to take this on a long trip, we can extend our range by having an auxiliary tank that we fill inside the trunk. I don't know what kind of fuel mileage this thing will get. I can't imagine it'll be too horrible. I don't know if you guys can hear the buzzing in the background, but that storm that just rolled through, I think we had a lightning, had a power short, and one of my battery backups for the computers in the office is in there ringing. I tried resetting it and it won't re-ring, or the ringer won't stop ringing. So I'm probably going to have to go over to Micro Center on Monday and pick up the new battery surge protector. Alright, hook our fuel line back up. Honestly, was a pretty painless swap out. It definitely cleaned up the aesthetics under the hood. Let's see if I can find a plug for that hole. Need to transfer over my studs for my air cleaner. Well, hey, pretty straightforward. Let's do some brake work. Very cool. I gotta run and get some fuel. I can put my lower hose on and put some fresh coolant in this thing. The coolant that came out of this thing was yucky. I'm not gonna lie. That's really annoying. Well, you can see these brakes turned out looking pretty amazing. I rebuilt the caliper, new brake rotor. I cleaned up the hub and the caliper parts in my vapor hone. And I'll show you what the other side looked like, because it was pretty bad. Crusty brake caliper. Hopefully I can get the pistons out of it and rebuild it. Let's see if I can do that. Ugh. Let's get it apart, see if we can clean it up. Bring it back to life. Gross. There's some nasty grease in there. Like gross stuff. It's gonna hurt. Stuck in a caliper. Let's go off. Soak for a bit. It's not great. That is locked in there. Soak time. Let's let you soak. Caliper apart without burning down the shop. I'm deep frying my brake caliper.
Filming any of this? How to make a caliper?
Well, the camera's on right now.
Okay.
I don't know.
How do you do this? Well, you take a cooking hot plate, it's an ATF, you make a soup, you add caliper.
Deep fry your caliper.
The body looks nicer.
Yeah, I went ahead and cleaned it up in the vapor hone because I can.
Because you have one?
Because I have one, yes. Come on, Nelly.
Poop.
It's the last one, too. What else can I just get that off?
What's your next trick?
I don't know. Drill a hole in it, tap it, use a bolt to press it out, and weld the hole shut.
The hole back?
Maybe, possibly.
Steal a caliper off the other one?
I can take a caliper off the other one. They're the same. Or I think they're the same. They're probably the same.
Should be the same. Well,
that's why you buy parts cars.
Is it the same as the one off that car, or is it the same off the one that's the race car?
Yes.
Like the same thing.
I think they're all the same. I'll have to look. I mean, I could grab one off the race car real quick just to get this one going, and then find a solution for this, which is probably going to be a torch. That's a big NO. What'd you do today, Rich? Oh, I played with thermodynamics. On the car without a brake pad on it, bleed the brakes. Maybe. That's not a bad idea. Of course, it's the inboard side. That doesn't really make a difference. How am I going to fix that? Alright. Can you get in there? Yeah, it's noisy. You wanna...
Okay. Down?
Maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
We're all the way down.
Okay. Take it up.
Up.
Again.
Down.
Again. Down.
Down.
Up.
Up.
Down.
Down.
Ooh.
This
Up.
thing is cleaner than anything I drive.
This is either going to explode or break the rotor, or that piston's going to come out. Up. Up.
Something will happen.
Something will happen. I should probably not have my face here when it happens. I'm going to go to the other side. Bleed the other side. Up. Down. Ooh, hey, the piston came out.
Yay!
Yippee! Up.
Up.
Down.
Down. Does it go back in?
Up.
Up.
No, it does not go back in. Down.
Down.
Up. I'm willing to bet that I'll be able to get it out with compressed air from there. Go down one more time.
Down.
Up.
Up.
I'll take it. I'm done with you. Go back to waiting for your video to be ready to be released.
Jesus, that's aggressive.
It's annoying. Fasten your seatbelt, dummy. Take the key. Oh, that's take the key out of the ignition dummy.
That's the take the key out of the ignition dummy.
Take the key out of the ignition dummy.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Well, good news. I was able to resolve my stuck piston issue by using brake fluid pressure to push my piston out. Wouldn't recommend doing that, but it did happen to work. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So now I'm going to take this caliper back apart so that I can rebuild the inboard half, and then I can put it together for the final time. So we got that going for me. Cleaned up my hub, put on my new rotor. Take out my old pad. I guess I'll leave my old pad in there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy apart and put my new seals. And after I clean it again. Lubricate my piston with all fresh new fluid so it doesn't rust. Brake fluid does absorb moisture, so you want to make sure you have these parts really clean after cleaning them all up like I just did. Install your piston most of the way. Nice smooth action. And you install your dust boot. Press your piston the rest of the way. At least try. Then you install your dust boot ring. There we go, and I'm going to put it back together. Again. Uh-oh, I need that guy. Little square cut ring to seal the two halves together. Don't forget that guy or you'll have a leak.
All better?
Problem solved. Now I gotta do the rear wheel cylinders.
Yeah, that's easy.
No.
Why is that not real easy?
Because I gotta dismantle the park brake and everything else that's hooked to them. And it's old and crusty. Well, you'd be old and crusty too.
Yeah.
You were born in 1972.
Had questionable maintenance over the last 30 years.
30 years.
Spins nice.
Looks good, spins nice. Should stop just fine.
Gotta make it go first.
Gotta put fuel. Look, dirt daubers. Alright, front brakes are bled. I'm gonna put my front wheels on because I feel like I have accomplishment. There goes the poncho. Well, my wheel cylinder is locked up just like my front caliper was. This is the driver's side rear. I got it cleaned up. I can't get the piston out of it. I'm going to try heating it and using compressed air, and if that doesn't work, I'll put it back on the car and use brake pressure to blow it out. Since that did actually work pretty well on the last one. I don't recommend doing that. I'm sure if you were doing this all the time, you'd probably set up a brake master cylinder that you could just do this with. It's hot, Dave. I'm cooking my parts in hot oil. Giving it the VO5 hot oil treatment. Watch out! Fire in the hole! Hot. I'll just throw it on the ground a few times, maybe it'll come loose. Hey, I got it. That's probably not in camera. It's too bad. Sorry. Still warm. That is gross. That piston looks alright. Clean them up, see if we can save them. Well, I think it's pretty obvious why my rear brakes don't work. See if we can get that to free up and come apart, shall we? First thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up some of these bits. And we'll probably heat this guy up and see if we can blow it apart. Alright. What are we betting that this piston will blow out of here with just compressed air? I'm not optimistic, but we'll give it a shot. That's a fail. Let's warm it up. Got it. Nothing a little heat won't fix. Man. Popped right on out of there. Still hot. I'm actually amazed that all my brake lines came loose on this car. I'm probably going to end up replacing them all at some point, but that will be a project for another day. At the moment, I just keep finding mud wasp nests everywhere on this car. Alright, well, let's stick this wheel cylinder back in here. I need a little wheel bearing grease. The wheel cylinder actually holds part of the park brake assembly in place. Put a couple dabs of grease in there to help it stay free. Wheel cylinder in place. I'm actually really surprised at how most of the stuff on this car is not completely rotten and returned to Mother Earth. These wheel cylinders are unique. They have a double clip design that holds them in place. One from the top and then one from the bottom. They interlock with little nubs that are a little tricky to get in place, but not too bad. As at least if they're not rusted into pieces. Snap. This guy goes all the way up. And then it finds its place. Now that that's on, I have to put my boot cover on. This one cleaned up pretty well. It's got a little tear in it, but I'm not concerned with it. It'll look good. Nobody's ever gonna see it, except for the 5 people that watch this video. Got it. All right, so put my self-adjuster in. Make sure my self-adjusters were free. This one was pretty free. It was nicely greased up. Put a dab of grease on it, or a piece of it, or a spot of anti-seize, and put that in. It'll be nice and free forever. And then I'll hook up my lines. My lines aren't dripping, which makes me concerned that I'm not getting fluid back here. So more than likely I'm going to need to put that proportion valve in, but we'll try and bleed it just to see. Interestingly enough, the brake hose is on this side. The brake hose goes into the top of this wheel cylinder, out the bottom of this wheel cylinder, and then you bleed both wheel cylinders at that side at the top with a bleeder. So that was a different setup. Normally they come in and go out because this is a high point in the system. I don't know, different strokes, different folks, I guess. This is a unique spring setup that I'm not used to doing. Guy in and on your park brake arm. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and put it back on. Hey. Clean off my pin. Hook up my park brake. Clean my brake shoes and adjust my brakes. Let's do that real quick. Brake drum doesn't look great. I'm going to go ahead and smooth it out on the brake lathe. Give it a nice clean resurface. That looks a lot better. Front row reggie. Now that fits. Now we can start taking it up. Now that our pads are centered. I think that's where we'll leave it. Alright, time to bleed some brakes. So I'm setting this car up to have an auxiliary fuel tank so that I can have longer range with it. This is a fuel tank bung. I've already drilled the tank. Basically I install it and then I crimp this. It acts like a rivet. And then I can put an AN fitting in and use a fuel transfer pump to fill fuel into my factory fuel cell. I've already cleaned the fuel tank, had it out a while ago. Alright, I was able to get my fuel transfer bung installed. I'm going to put some fuel in this thing. Ooh, I need to get a fuel cap for it. I have to call up Norm, Team Blitz, and see if he's got a fuel cap. It's not coming out the bottom yet. That's a good sign. Save a little to fill up my jump start bottles. All right. Oh, I have a vacuum leak still, dummy. things considered, that's pretty awesome. I've got her idling nice and smooth. Coolant is changed out. I need to change the engine oil yet. I'll do that next. Carburetor's set pretty good. I've got it idling right around 800 RPM, and it seems to like that. My charging system is not charging, but my brakes work. It moves under its own power. Reliably moves under its own power. I don't have to use the starter to bring it into the shop anymore, so that's a good thing. My alternator's not charging, so I need to figure that out. I'll have to make a phone call over to Norm at Team Blitz and see what kind of bits I need to resolve that issue, because he has a couple million parts for these cars. So if you need parts for one of these old Capris, give Team Blitz a call. At any rate, I have a couple other cars around here to work on. I'm gonna get back to working on stuff that pays the bills. You guys have a great day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next one.